Today we're going to look at a few different strategies for how to minimize chatbot hallucination when it generates a response, because the chatbot is connected to generative AI such as ChatGPT. The chatbot will sometimes generate a response that's inaccurate. And a big reason for that is because most chatbots are trained on unstructured data. So you might see a chatbot like this on a website. And if you even look at ChatGPT, it's been trained on a large amount of web pages, a lot of which is unstructured data, PDFs, websites. There's a lot of data in those documents, but it's unstructured and it's harder for AI to understand. And you can minimize the potential for an inaccurate response by using a structured data format. So if you think of a spreadsheet, that is an interface for managing structured data. You have cells and you have columns and you have rows, and the data is very structured. And you can export that data, and it's in CSV format, which is also a structured data format. It's just a raw data format. But spreadsheets, everyone has access to spreadsheets because every business runs on spreadsheets. And it's a universal interface for managing structured data. So let's just look at this chatbot that we've built for ourselves. And we can go into data. And this chatbot has been trained to collect only a couple of pieces of information that we want to collect in our conversational experience. And users are going to send messages, and we're going to want to generate responses. So we're going to use these three things to communicate back to a user. We're going to share some basic data. We're going to include documents, which includes structured data, like a spreadsheet, and unstructured data, which is PDFs or web pages. And then we also have some rules that we can define using a prompt editor. And that guides the AI on how to respond. So it's a combination of things that are going to help reduce the chances of your bot responding incorrectly. And it all begins with having a good data source and having a well-structured data source as well. So if we go to share data, here we have what's called as a simple data structure with a key and a value. A key is, for example, a business name. And then our business name is Bot Sheets, so that's our description. If we have another data point, if people ask about how much it costs, and we have a data point called subscription price, that's a key or a data point that AI easily understands, and then we compare that with a description. So it understands what the purposes of this data point is. And so we have a few data points that we're willing to share. Now, doing that at scale when you have ChatGPT to do it like this, it doesn't scale very well. It's hard to do. That's why it just uses a large amount of unstructured data. It's gigabytes of web data. But you can do it for your own business. People ask about our roadmap. We have a data point called roadmap, and we have a very simple description. So that's one way to train AI, is with these simple structured data format with a key and a value. The other way is to actually use a spreadsheet. So if I go to documents, I have the ability to connect a larger data set, and I can manage that from Google Sheets. Now, if you don't have a larger data set that you want, you can try our examples. And so I'm in the support portal here under sample data sets, and a sample data set could just be your Q&A. So you have a sample data set of questions and answers, which we'll look at. We have another variation of that. Could be something like real estate listings. You have a number of attributes about properties like bathrooms and bedrooms and location. That's all structured data. Here we have Amazon reviews. Here we have news aggregation. So we have a few examples that you can see of the types of data that can be managed as structured data in a spreadsheet. So let's just open this one up here, and we can see what this structured data looks like. Here we have there's a unique identifier, not totally needed, but that might be useful if you're managing support tickets, for example. Or somebody purchases product from your e-commerce store, and you have an order number. So then a chatbot could ask for an order number, and then it could search the Google Sheet and get the details about an order number. But here for FAQs, here we have some categories. We have a question and an answer, and we can have a lot of questions and a lot of answers, and that structured data format is easy for AI to understand because it's not doing a semantic search on your data. It's actually doing a query of the data. So it'll search like a database. Let's look at another one here. This is real estate listings, and you can see that this is also structured data with a number of properties. So we've categorized the properties. Here's an address, city. We can break that all up into smaller pieces of data, and then we have headings or column headers that help AI understand what is this data. So beds is a number, baths number, the location, the square feet, the lot size, when it was built, right? All of this is data that would usually be served in a database. You wouldn't actually have this data in a PDF document. It might be on a website, but when you're ingesting website data, it's not structured data, it's unstructured. Here, because the data source can be easily exported as CSV, which is a raw data format for structured data, and this is really just an interface for managing that data, then it's easy for AI to understand. It's also easier for you to manage because you can just simply make changes to your data here, and you're connecting this data source, and your chatbot will read as you read data from this data source, and keep your data in sync with AI while you keep control over the data that you share. So how you get that structured data into the Google Sheet is up to you, whether you enter it manually, whether you're using some other tool and scraping web pages and having it dump that data into a spreadsheet, or whether you're using a tool like Zapier to move data from any application, any business application, into a spreadsheet. It's a universal interface for managing data, and then you can connect a chatbot to it to query that data. So that's those are your data source strategies: simple data structure, documents, which includes structured data documents like spreadsheets. Here we have unstructured data as well, which is we keep that to a minimum. So we have a PDF that has some general knowledge, and we have a couple of web pages that we've scraped. And that's fine for answering questions, but really the structured data format is going to provide greater accuracy and more personalization. Finally, there's rules, and you have a prompt editor here which you can use. And if you want to explicitly tell AI, do not provide any other data except the data that you're tasked with answering. You can just make sure that you've emphasized that in your rules in the base prompt. So do not mention being AI is a rule. Only perform actions or answer questions relevant to your task, and only ask for data using the information provided. So you can edit these rules, and you can experiment to see, what is best, what's going to help AI understand what your intent is, what your goal is, and stay aligned to that goal. So a combination of things to help you reduce the chances of AI responding incorrectly through rules and documents, and even a simple data structure. If you don't have a spreadsheet to start with, just start with a few data points and be very descriptive in what the data is, so AI understands um, what data it's going to be able to generate a response with. Hope that helps.